What's up, y'all? Welcome back. Happy Monday, everyone. It's your girl, Danielle, here on another episode of Chill to Action, once again with my favorite co-host, Mr. Paul Denuzio.
What's happening, everybody? Glad to see you all here. That was a nice little intro. I want to give shout out to David B for that nice little get us in the mood intro, if you know what I'm saying.
Tonight, y'all, we have our very wonderful special third host for the night, the one and only. Y'all know her as Mac Daddy, Miss Alex Mac.
I'm going by Alex Mack today since we're not doing the whole kayfabe thing, right?
Right.
And I remember it reminds me of like the Skinamax almost.
Well, Friday night after dark. Yeah.
You can have a move a little bit.
We're all in the mood, all dancing, because tonight we have the one and only, the dab master himself, Mr. Chandru, Dhandapani.
Hi, what's up? How are you guys? It was so nice to see some of you in person last week, and even though I can't talk a lot of things spectacular, we can still like talk all things season 6. I'm so excited for today. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. That's right, y'all. This is a non-spoiler episode, so make sure in the chat you keep those spoilers hush. Spectacular. The spoiler ban is going to be lifted tomorrow, so we'll be able to talk about it and we'll hear about it for the rest of the week. But for tonight, this is a no spectacular zone. Sorry. Hashtag not sorry. It's fine.
Welcome, everyone. Spectacular zone, a feeling spectacular zone. Like the music, it gets us in the mood. We feel it. But you
We're getting emotionally ready for the chaos that's going to come up tomorrow.
That's right. Oh my God, the walls are going to flood. So welcome, everyone, to another episode of Chill to Action with Mr. Chandru Dhandapani. Thank you so much for being here, babe. First question, as always, as usual, Chandru, why Schmoedown? What got you into it?
What got me into it was like I was following Screen Junkies a lot, like up to 3 years ago. So there, I don't know if you still know it. They used to have like this live show called Flickbait, and that's what got me into like honest trailers and movie fights and so on, and Screen Junkies Universe and so on. And like from there, Dan was talking about one of the Schmoedown episodes on his like Screen Junkies video, and then after I watched one episode of the Schmoedown, I was instantly hooked. And it was a Dan Merle match, and it was definitely still one of the best Dan Merle matches, even though Dan Merle lost on that one. So it was a Dan Merle Ghai match, and as soon as I saw that, I was like, I can't have this be the only match I see. I need to watch every other match where he wins, and and that got me to the Schmoedown, and like never looked back since then.
What a wonderful introduction.
Exactly, that's like the first match to show everyone.
Yeah, Roxy and Dan getting Garth into it as well. Looks like he's in the same boat. And Chris, no, we're not going to talk about how Humberto Gonzalez was the 10th manager. We can't talk about that yet. Is he in the draft? That's what I want to know. Is he in the draft?
Humberto
is the draft.
Humberto.
I mean, he's a real dark horse pick, if you guys ask me.
And yes, welcome to the addiction.
Well, now you just can't stop.
That's right. It's like Pringles once you pop. So you've had a great run so far. You're definitely in the running for Rookie of the Year. What can you say has been your absolute best moment in the Schmoedown so far? Wait, I got it. Before you answer, I think I got it.
Oh, no.
That might have been my best. I don't know.
It is probably one of my top 5 moments of the entire season so far.
That was definitely like when my heart rate was the highest. So, if you're just like measuring my excitement from my heart rate, like that would win out. But a lot of great moments in the Hannah match. Like I think both of us were like really at the top of our game. For both of us to hit like perfect rounds and bonuses. I think it's never happened in IG before, and it's even in singles. It's only happened like once or twice before. So so that, and to knock him out despite him being 80% accurate, like that match, like I couldn't believe what was happening, and I was like I would letter away from a perfect game too. So that match, I was definitely like feeling the high of the Schmoedown, and with it always like high highs always like followed by low lows. So the match after, like I was it was still surreal to actually play Ken Smith, because like the first studio day that I was in the Schmoedown studios, I was watching like David Moore and Kevin Smith play each other. I was like playing along on the side. I was like, okay, without preparation, I can barely keep up with him. That sort of like inspired me how to like, come on, it's still a knockout.
Just to clarify that, man.
Without studying, I was like barely able to keep up with him, even without the lights, on the side. So that sort of inspired me to like up my studying game and like up my preparations too, because I knew one way or the other, Kevin's path and my path were going to collide sometime this season. So having that match, just the fact that I was going into that match was also pretty surreal, and then playing him, the closest so far anyone has uh, gotten him to
Huh.
in a loss. He has like 5 wins and 4 knockouts. The one win that's not a knockout is me. So yay.
There you go. Well, it's good. Funny you picked on the Hannah being your best so far, because I do feel like not just, even though Brandon is also a friend of the show, I feel like that has become like a very strong rivalry in the Schmoedown. You guys back and forth in the chat groups, online, and in the matches themselves. You've had a great rivalry built up. Is it something you're looking forward to continuing, or do you think you're over now that you technically knocked him
I
out?
mean, sure, if Brandon wins some more matches and gets to my level, we can continue the rivalry. But as of now, I feel like
Fired.
as of now, I feel like my rivalry is like with people like Smets and Mike. So we'll let Brandon come to the tier when he's ready. But as of now, I
Yeah.
feel like the rivalry is.
Oh,
I was there for both of them. I was one of the focus group that was laughing so hard at that technical joke, but then with Christine it just fell so flat. Because
Chandru,
Sorry.
you've had a wonderful opportunity to play other people, great people inside of the Inner Geekdom matches. Is there anyone that you wish you could have played this season specifically?
oh, Rachel for sure. Rachel Cushing, like she retired right about the time I was like coming up the ranks, so there was no like overlap at all. And as soon as they did their retirement sort of video, I was like backstage. I went to Rachel basically and be like, let me know if you're playing in any exhibition match. Like I just want to share the desk with you. So I got to share like a video with her. Like she called the match between Smets and I, so that was fun. But to be on the desk and like play the Schmoedown with her would be like a dream come true for me. So hopefully an exhibition match next season, or I don't know if it's just going to be what ifs. So anything could happen in those what if exhibition matches too. But yeah, that was my dream match. And Mara Kanopik too. I know she was around a long time, but she never got to like play in any match this season. So I'm looking forward to her return next season. And like it will be a weird sort of like a quirky energy with both of us on the desk. That's something I'm looking forward to as well. And
It'd be super fun to watch for sure.
you do that what if series. He tends to like those what if
I know,
series. They make it
but
work.
Harlov is gonna want the Smets versus Cushing so badly. I don't know if he wants to do exactly. Yep, that's what I was gonna say. Harlov is gonna want a Smets versus Cushing what if so badly, like and it came so close with except for the don't tell Peter thing. Yep. It could have been him at that point. So that's definitely like if you ask me which is a better what if, like personally I would want a Muse Rachel, but like for the Schmoedown for where it is right now, Smets as Rachel would be a good what if.
Fair enough.
If there was a specific what if situation for you personally, what would you want that to be? What is your ideal what if?
My ideal what if, like, personally for me would be me playing Mike at Spectacular. No doubt there.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
That's fair.
I would love to see you play
So
against Mike. That would be such fun banter to see, especially because Mike is one of those super serious types of dudes, and I love to watch you on the deck. You're hilarious. Your personality is super light and fluffy, and I just love it. I love to watch you play
yeah,
any matches. It's so much fun. So I think seeing that would be hilarious.
yeah, and Mike sort of gets really zoned in and like focused in during matches, and me saying anything could rattle him. So I would like probably like play with maybe distracting him with my like crazy antics, and that
The costumes and the dances, just like be like, whoosh.
exactly. Exactly. Like I was planning to do a Flash Gordon entrance for that match if I won. I just was
Flash! Mr. Sam Jones! And like that, he's gone.
I feel so bad about that gift now. I
it
really
still,
do.
like, it still hurts for me to watch that. It's like so.
It's still so perfect. We love you, Mike. We do. It's all
I know. I love Mike too. And is this the earliest we played the GIF in any
I think it
played this
might
video in
be.
any tilt to action? Like it's within like the first 10, 12 minute mark.
I did it before I lost my nerve to do it again.
Oh my goodness, that's
So
hilarious.
it was either going to be Flash Gordon or I was going to like come out as uh, Star Lord and be like, wait, what? He's just the Flash Gordon
Ooh.
of space. So I had the whole idea locked into.
Down. Dance off.
But yeah, so a what if against him? I don't know if we'll be able to get like the venue for Spectacular, but if we can just like recreate the what if in the studio, that would be amazing. Otherwise, like overall Schmoedown in general, I so badly wanted a Shire Wolf versus Founding Fathers match, and it came this
Mm.
close.
Very
Corruption beat
close.
them out like once again.
Oh, very close.
That would be a crazy match. Like so many people who've never faced each other. Rachel never faced Roka or Morrow, except for Rachel's like underground exhibition match, the 5-way that she played Roka, and Clark Wolf had never faced Roka either.
I
And
thought Rachel has played Roka in like an exhibition match.
that's what,
Oh,
except for that
yeah.
exhibition match, that's what I'm talking
Oh,
about.
it was.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
in like real league matches, they haven't played each other, and like
Mhm.
Clark has lost 2 title matches tomorrow, or 2 matches tomorrow, and like with Rachel on her side, she definitely seems way more confident in the Schmoedown than like in singles,
Yeah.
and like to see her like sort of try to uh, get that vengeance and like maybe get sort of the goat conversation going between Rachel and Dan. There's just too many possibilities, and like it came this close to
Mhm.
happening, and yeah, that would be a great what if for next season. I don't know. I don't know why most of my what ifs for next season just involve pushing. I just don't want her to stop playing, I guess.
Who does? Who
I
does?
know.
No one wants.
I mean, she's
Yeah.
amazing. You know, I mean, like behind the desk, you know, as a competitor, you know, just as like being involved in the storylines, no matter what, she always it's
Role
amazing.
model?
And she's an amazing person too. Yep.
Right. Just a pure role
Oh,
model.
she's so great. She's amazing all around. Yeah.
So, but all right. Well, the nuke is happening now. The spectacular is behind us, even if we can't talk about it. The nuke is the next thing on the horizon, which we can talk about. What are your thoughts on the nuke?
Oh, my thoughts on the nuke. I'm excited for it because like most seasons, like most of the players end up getting managers, but then like some people like me, or like Mara Konopic, who just did not have a manager during her entire run, or like Paddington 2 for instance, or who was I talking about? Yeah, or like Louis Bin, so many other teams like the movie guys, Shazam. Some of us
Like
just
newer
didn't.
teams.
Some of the newer people like didn't get a chance to like have managers during the entire time, or like
Mhm.
people who are like in your corner for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Like who are actually rooting for you and like have your improvement in their interest also.
Mhm.
But so having that, like having people who root for you, going into the next season, and like a manager support also
Not even
in
just
the next
rooting
season.
for you, but like rooting for you, but like being there to like help you decide when to challenge when you're in the heat of the moment.
Exactly.
Like
Paying
physically
paying close
actually
attention.
being there.
Yes, being
Really
there
cool.
and paying close attention to matches, and yeah, that's going to be really helpful. And it's always been a thorn on the side of the Schmoedown that privilege is not like been there for everyone, right? So not everyone has
Mhm.
had managers, and like this is going to shake things up, and everyone's going to get a manager one way or another, and and yeah, and more than manager, like I'm also excited to have like faction mates, because having that sort of like institutional knowledge, or like practice buddies or sparring buddies would also help more to sort of up your game and up your preparation game too, because most of the times you don't want to sort of spill your secrets or help anyone with their preparation, because you never know when you're going to face them, right? But once you're in your faction, you're like sort of on the same team. So so there's more incentive to help each other out, and like sort of lift each other up too.
Well, what happens if Hannah is in your faction?
Oh, uh,
Um,
He said, "Oh,
I know, Brandon, you're in the chat, Brandon, so you can
uh,
answer that question too if you're in the chat still. Could you
Well,
guys?
Chandru, that's something I was going to mention. Was like if you are so interactive, like on just kind of bouncing off what Paul said, you're so interactive, with the fan group, with a lot of the chats and the groups and on Twitter and everything. You're so interactive, all with fans, other competitors, and supportive and everything as well. It already feels like you're very close in particular.
mhm.
Is there any particular team or competitor, singles teams, or anything like that you really want to see yourself in line with potentially in the future?
um, um, Shazam has been a really like sort of ray of sunshine, like such a welcome change and refreshing change for the Schmoedown in big part. And like I've had a great time talking the Schmoedown as well as like strategy with Brendan too.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's sort of like the new guard, like new generation sort of thing. So I kind of gel a lot with like some of the newer people like Bryn Meyer. Um,
Mm-hmm.
um, Paul behind the scenes is also like has a lot of like similar strategic way of thinking about it, and a very like critical way
Sorry.
of thinking about the critical way of thinking about the Schmoedown, and not just like go in brute force, try to learn everything about everything too. So those are the people we have great conversations. Janine is an amazing player too, and like she's on your side, once she's on your side, she has your back, man. Like
Back you up. Mhm.
she's such a good teammate, and like such a great like team player. Um,
And she is
so
officially, just want to clarify, she is part of the Action Army. Just saying.
true.
yeah,
That's
she
true."
is like one of the
100%
OGs.
part of the Action
Jake.
Army. Just putting that out into the universe. Sorry.
She is definitely one of the OGs. So having Janine like in my group would be great too. Um, it turns out like most of the people I'm saying are just like younger people who are like sort of in my generation. There's
So like no snipers.
Ben Bateman. Ben Bateman would be like a really good teammate, faction mate as well. Like he also thinks about the Schmoedown in like a very like critical, analytical way. Like his sort of surgical precision and like how he prepares. Because
Mhm.
there's no way you can know everything that's going to be asked about, right? Like, but how do you and none of us have infinite time or to prepare and like watch every movie available. And but then how do you use whatever time you're willing to spare, or whatever time you have, free time you have, to sort of prepare for this Schmoedown, and like how do you maximize your efficiency, so to speak. And these are some of the players who've tried to do that, and like that's what I think about as well when I think about preparing for this Schmoedown. And so I'll gel with those people. Having said that,
Very nice.
um, Kevin Smets also, who is not someone I wouldn't mind having being in a faction with. I'm pretty sure he's not gonna share his flashcards or like his study techniques or anything, but like just having like sparring partners, or like I'm pretty sure we're gonna have like a match next season where we're facing each other, and if
Inevitably.
we're yeah, inevitably, and if we're in the same faction, it's just going to be it's just going to be fun to see. I don't even know how matches within faction works. If the faction gets like the points no matter what, right? At that point, or you're just going in an all-out brawl on yourself. It just reminds me of
Yeah.
when Clark Wolf and Mark Riley had like a match against each other. They were just like so friendly, coming out like dancing together and like just
Mhm.
playing that match too. So that'll be like a fun outcome too. So I would I would it would be nice to have another IG player in the faction just so we can like talk shop and like support
Bounce
each other
off.
and like lift each other up. Except for Hannah, I don't want Brandon Hannah in my.
Ooh, Hannah.
Brandon.
With the
Still
new
in there.
season coming up, Chandru, would you ever want to venture into any other part of the Schmoedown, or do you just want to specifically stay inside of Innergeekdom?
I've
Potentially
definitely
Star Wars.
I've definitely thought about it. Yeah, never say never. Right, but yeah, Star Wars would definitely be a faction that I mean, sorry, a division that I'm interested in. As of now, like without preparation, I do get like 80 to 90% of the questions right. But then some of the questions I don't even like. Even it's not like once you hear the answer, you go, oh yeah, I remember now. It's like where did you even read these? So it just depends. Like and the fact is like the way the league the division is set up right now, you sort of there's no room for error, right? Like you
Yeah.
have to play perfect games to like win the title and win the championship, and that's the sort of that's the level I want to be at, and I don't want to just like enter a division just for the sake of it. I want if I'm entering division, I'm a really competitive person, and I'm gonna like throw in everything I want at it. So at this point, IG is a really good uh, comfortable spot for me to do that. Um that I've already done so much work in, and Star Wars. I don't know if I'm at the championship level yet, but that could change like just with two more viewings of each movies and like a little bit more studying too. So I'm always down for like down to join the Star Wars division. It also would depend on like which faction I'm joining. Would they need a Star Wars player? Uh, would and I've been like play also I've been playing along with like singles and teams matches too. So round ones I pretty decently with like a 4.5 point minimum.
Mhm.
So I would not be like the A player in a team. I would be a really good support player, especially for someone who's already well versed in like stuff that I don't know that much about, but like want more of like the younger IG perspective and like the
Mhm.
fantasy sci-fi and like
Yeah.
Pixar, just things like that. I'm already interested in, and I can bring in a lot of like the strategy aspect into it as well, because like I think a lot about strategy, and like and both in IG and Star Wars there's not much of strategy, because like even if you hit the opponent's choice, you're still going to get you should basically not be afraid of anything on that wheel if you've done your IG preparation right. So
Mhm.
there's because at this point none of the top five players have any weaknesses, so to speak. We just
Yeah.
have lesser strengths, and uh, and that's
I
on the
love
other team
that.
to find.
I like that too.
Can I get that on a sheet
And
shirt?
that's on
So,
I don't have weaknesses, I just have lesser
we don't
strengths.
have weaknesses. We have.
That's a great
I
quote.
love that.
That's a great quote.
Mhm.
I like that too. Well, not to throw Ben Bateman.
So
Go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
but when it comes to singles and teams, there's a lot more you can strategize with, and I can do a lot of that as a support player for a team if I already know some one of my teammates has like a good base knowledge coming in, and that way we'd make a good team. Like that's what was really great about a lot of the newer teams, right? Like which were really
Mhm.
successful. Ghai thinks a lot about strategy, and
Mhm.
McQueenie is a solid knowledge based player. Brendan Meyer both Bibiani and Brendan Meyer think about strategy, and like Bibiani's, both of them knowledge base is also good. But if I were to say one of them is stronger in base knowledge, I would say it's Bibiani, and like Brendan Meyer thinks about strategy in a completely like newer way than most people have been thinking about in the Schmoedown. Bateman and Riley were kind of like that. Riley bringing in like a lot of institutional knowledge, based knowledge, Ben, with add to that Ben studying as well as his strategies. Um, that was the case with like above the line as well. Like the reason above the line was a great team was Sam Levine at that point was uh, had great knowledge of the game itself, and McQueenie again had like brought this really good base knowledge to the game. So all of these killer teams, and even Shy Wolves for that matter, like Rachel thinks about the game and strategizes a lot. Clark has a completely different way of like thinking about strategy and like taking it one round at a time, and having a calming effect on both of them, and like making them focus as well. So you kind of need that like sort of yin and yang in teams most of the time, and knowing what you can provide to the team, it's a great plus as well. And I kind of know like I can provide the strategy and like some support player aspect of it, and if need be, I can be like a really good support player for someone who doesn't think about strategy so much, or like doesn't want to think about strategy so much, and like just have the base knowledge.
Chandru, I just want to make something intensely clear.
Yeah?
You would be a huge fucking asset for anyone. Huge.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Okay, so obviously, I mean, you're more than just like comic book movies and movie quotes and all that good stuff. I mean, obviously, I mean, like you're pretty knowledgeable, I feel like, all around. So I mean, like you were talking about with strategy and everything. So potential future managers, if you're watching.
Yeah, teams hit me up. Like I'm probably like not at the level to play. Like I have way too many holes in my movie knowledge to like do singles. But like teams, I've been playing along, and I've been getting better and better at it too. And I kind of know how to start studying for teams round 2 as well. Like I have ideas to how to prepare and like get teams to like the championship level.
Nice. Really quickly, Chandru, before we get into another Schmoedown question, I do have one sort of personal question for you. Chandru, have you ever had a White Claw?
I have. The mango is one of my favorites.
That was the biggest question of tonight.
Yeah, I see the whole stack of
everyone,
White Claws
calm
behind
down. Now we know.
But my question would be, have you ever had Jameson?
Yeah.
Out of here.
Just-
Get out of here with your Jameson.
So the thing is, like, if I were to choose between just either of those, it would be it's a hard choice. But then White Claw and Jameson, and it's just like
White Claw.
depends on the day. Is it like a chill day, or just like or just pre-gaming before going to a wild party, right? Like it depends on the day.
Or is it a day that Andrew Ghai retires and you're feeling hurt and you need to drink away your sorrows? That's what really means there.
Or alternatively, if it's a Thursday.
That's also very true. That's also very true. I do have. There's no proof of that. You can go check out.
While drinking Jameson, there's no proof. Okay.
None.
No, absolutely none.
None at all.
Go check out Nerd Chronic's channel. Thank you so much, Eric, for doing everything that you do for the Schmoedown. You're wonderful. We all love you on the Call to Action channel. Everyone in the Schmoedown universe loves you so much. So thank you so much for doing everything that you do. We had a great time on the Friday before Spectacular.
Oh, yeah. If you haven't like watched the Spectacular yet, just watch it tomorrow for the promos. Like those promos are killer. I hope they have like the audience reaction to it as well as in the audio, because like it was like cinematic. The reaction to the promos, like that people were just like having a great time, and people were just like losing their minds over the cuts that were made in the promos, and like you could feel the energy. Like people were getting so hyped up in those 5 minutes for every match, and it's a long day and a lot to ask of the fans too, and Nerd Chronic had a great part in like keeping the hype alive among the fans, and it's really impressive what they managed to do. You'll know what I'm talking about when you see tomorrow's matches as well, right? Like, because the first player was also like supposed to is the winner of the first match also goes ahead and plays in the finals for the singles belt as well, and that promo was something out of the ordinary. I don't know how they managed to do that.
Yeah, that player gets to go for that thick belt.
That's big belt. Yeah.
Chandru, really quickly, I was watching your old matches, and there was one thing that came up in your match about against Jared Habon, and it was about a nickname that you had.
Oh.
Midnight? What's Papa Midnight?
So
You don't have to
that
elaborate
was
if you don't want.
it's let's just say it's the character's nickname in college, not in my own. So the backstory you would have to ask Chandru the Chosen. Yeah, not Chandru himself.
Okay, because we're not
How we go into that further once we get a few more claws in you.
Yeah, I mean that it has to happen in person. It has to
So
happen in
come
person.
LA in January.
Exactly. I'll be at the awards show. So it might be a story
I'll
for
buy you up.
yeah.
All right. Well, I want to ask you, going back to real quick, you were talking about different factions and different teammates and everything else. On the action stream yesterday, Ben Bateman let something drop. Actually, he tried to do actually an impersonation of you, saying that you were maybe interested in Roxy as a manager.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Would Roxy be your number one choice, you think?
As of now, yeah, she's definitely a manager I'm really interested in. Because like based on things she has said, and everyone knows, she already like sort of has this like backstage rivalry with Smets as well, and she doesn't have as of now she doesn't have like an IG player that she prefers, and she also thinks about like strategy and gameplay and like support during matches and all that a lot. So I feel like she'd be a really good fit as a manager for me. And I've always said like people like Ghai and Winston also they think about the Schmoedown very similarly. Um, and they both like have that sort of
Background.
background and experience, and like Roxy, she's not played in IG, but like she has like a great wealth of DC knowledge, and that's like 2 out of 8 categories, 2 out of 8 of the main categories in IG, and yeah, having that sort of like large knowledge, and she's pretty good at like a lot of other stuff too. So she can definitely like help me train, like watch out for challenges during matches and all that too. And she is fierce, man. Like I know I said like Janine, when you have her on your side, you know you can like fight 5 people with her on your side. Roxy is kind of the same way. Like I want fierce like people to back me up, and her as a manager would like definitely be a good fit for me, and I can bring a lot to that faction to her faction as well. And yeah, she was looking for like she would be looking for an IG player next season, especially because IG matches are worth more points next season than regular singles and teams matches, teams matches too. Yeah.
Well, we love Roxy very much. We are very much a Rockstar Army channel, so that would be amazing to see you on Roxy's team. We all fucking love that shit. Absolutely.
I mean, especially when in terms of Chandru, you're talking about how you would love to have someone like physically there, not only grow with like challenges and everyone, but someone there just to like really back you up and
Exactly.
really be your voice if needed when it comes to the matches, there to like pump you up,
Exactly.
there to kind of help motivate you and everything during the matches themselves.
Mhm.
And I can't really picture a faction between Snyder and Andreyko. They're so vocally pro Roxy. They love Roxy.
Exactly.
Everyone
Yeah.
that you manage loves her. So I can easily see you be part of
Mhm.
hypothetically.
Well, let's be honest. I mean, Roxy, up until recently, was talked about, highly touted as being manager of the year. I feel like she's slipped a little bit, and I
As being
think the
manager of
only
the year,
reason
yeah.
she slipped is the fact that she only had Snyder and Draco. That's like she only had the odd couples of team when Kaiser had Smets and
Kaiser had
Oyama,
like 3 people. Yeah.
and
Mhm.
Dagnino
Super.
has Bateman and who's the boss and the founding fathers, and
Right.
And can't forget about
Yeah.
them as well.
right. It just seems like
They have bigger, more
I
competitive.
think.
so. Despite only having the
Yeah. I
odd
think.
couple, Roxy was touted as being extremely strong and working for her players and with her players. So that's a good
Mhm.
choice for you, I think.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Like her having the success she had as a manager while just managing 2 players, and now she's going to have like what 8 to 10 players in her faction. I can't even imagine how successful that sort of faction is going to be. She is also very like um, competitive person. Like once she takes something on, she
Just
doesn't like do a half-ass job or anything. She goes all in. Like she goes all in too. Um, so I'm really excited for what her faction would be.
Well,
Mhm.
Robert Adams wants you to go to the dungeon to see you go rough and raw.
Ash Chandru
Uh,
heel turn?
I think
Oh my
Chandru has
God,
maybe
no,
heel turned
no.
the terms a little bit, just a
Andrew,
little
you might
bit.
vote for like baby face of the year. You can't go heel yet. You cannot go heel yet.
okay.
I think it depends on who he's facing. I think he steps
Yeah.
up to the heel game, and when he faces a heel, he tends to turn on that heel just a smidge.
Well, here's the thing, though.
I mean,
Think about how Andrew
because
Ghai kind of gets into competitors' minds when they're when with the banter on the desk. Chandru can 100% do that, and I would
Absolutely.
love to see a heel turn from Chandru. I'm sorry, I'm on this team.
no, I definitely like. So being a heel like definitely comes with its own advantages, right? Like so, you can you can definitely like get in the head of your opponent like much more easily. Like famously, Andrew Guy's antics. Like he got into Murrell's head. He's gotten into Riley's head. He's gotten into like Roka's head during some of the matches too. So so you kind of get that competitive edge when you're playing as a heel, but like you can do that while playing as a face too. I've been like playing with some of it and like see how I can do sort of like the get in your opponent's head while still like being a face and like be not doing anything that I wouldn't do personally in a match. So that's sort of like the line I am pushing at. It's definitely much harder to do. It takes a lot more focus to do that as well. For instance, like that's one of the reasons my match against Hannah is one of my favorites because like even though both of us were like getting perfect first rounds, I would that was my plan going into that match to just like intentionally give more information than what was asked for just to like mess with him because I like to push on people's buttons and like Brandon somehow like for some reason thinks I know more than him and that's not wrong.
Heel. That's like some serious mental
Yeah,
shit.
it's
That's
mental
like
warfare.
a mental healing going on there. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah, it's like it's mental Olympics, right? Like we're I don't know who said this, but like Christian also has repeated this. He said like all of the players in Schmoedown are like mental athletes at this point,
Yep.
right?
Mhm.
And going with how well we take the wins and losses, and like how well we take the preparation going into the matches to how well we're thinking and like how good our psyche is during our match. So any advantage you have, you take. And with Kevin Smith, there's no doing that. Like, so I use the different sort of strategy, and I have I have another match coming up with Kevin Smith next season inevitably. So I don't want to reveal my Kevin Smith strategy, but that was the thing going on with Brandon, and yeah, you can see it sort of got into his head a little bit. He was like rushing into his answers in round 2 because of that, and because of that, I was able to like get a couple steals too. So that's why that match is one of my favorites. And yeah, and people say it's you can like I said, people say it's only you can get into a head only while you're playing as a heel, but that's not completely true. A lot of face players have gotten into people's head while not even showing a bit of an edge. Like Bibiani does that all the time too. Like even the yeah, Ethan does that. Ethan Irwin does that.
It's weird.
Yeah. That's that a little bit as well, and yeah, that's you sort of take any competitive edge that you have, and it's not impossible. It's like a little bit more difficult to do. So you need to have the focus and the recall, and have like the extra space in your head to like care about like your mind games as well.
That's
Fair enough.
amazing.
Well, it's about that time. We are going to go into our next segment on Chilled Action, a little
And
segment
it's
we
not a
call
dance off.
This
Oh, yeah.
or That. If you watch the show, you know what this is. If you don't, well, this is a small segment. I give Chandru 2 things. So it could be a context, could be with context, without context, and he'll just answer which one he prefers or thinks is better or would like. The answer is up to him, really. Some of them are our usual. We have some that we do every week, and we have some that will be specifically tailored to Chandru himself. And with that in mind, I think we should just go right ahead and go for it.
Oh yeah, can I just say this or that is like one of my favorite segments. I also watch the Chill to Action almost every week, or listen to Chill to Action almost every week, and this is definitely like one of my favorite segments. So I'm psyched.
Good point. I'm also willing to bring, if anybody on the chat has this or that they want to throw in there, I'm always willing to expand the ones that I have. I think it's a good way to do that. I might pick a few out, but we got some already. We'll go with the first one we have to ask of all time, of course. Team Ghai or Team Trader?
I've come around since the last time I was here. It's Team Ghai.
Yes! We knew it. All right.
It's a lot of the tournament matches sort of kept pushing me towards him, and like his the match against Shazam, I was like completely on Team Ghai after that point.
I like that answer a lot.
That's a great answer.
Costume wise, Chewbacca or Captain America?
Oh.
Well, this is like probably low key one of the hardest questions he's been asked all night.
I think it's Chewbacca, because that onesie was like way too comfortable.
Captain America. Andrew, come on.
What?
Low-key, I would love to wear that around all
Chewbacca
time.
outfit, right? Like
I would wear it to work if I could.
I have worn it to work on May 4th, and luckily it was a Saturday. I was just like writing my thesis in the office, and I was like, I need to be as comfortable as I want if I'm gonna work on a Saturday.
Fair enough.
So to add on top of that, the Captain America costume is not very comfortable. Like regardless of which material you get, it chafes.
It chafes in the stars.
Yeah, it stripes your stars, if you know what I mean.
That's what I'm thinking.
Experience.
What?
It's trying to give you the real Cap experience. That's how.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, you're like man out of time in like this futuristic costume, which is doesn't breathe very well. And also to add on top of that, I won the match when I wore the Chewbacca costume, And
That's what
fun fact: every single time someone wears a cap costume in the Schmoedown, they lose. I should have.
Ooh.
I thought I'll be cocky enough to like. I was so cocky. I thought I'll break the curse. I was not
And
able to
who
break
else?
the curse.
Who else wore it aside from Kalinowski?
Kalinowski wore it against Cushing in their first
Yeah.
IG match. Inman wore it in the live match against Mara.
Oh, that's
Inman did.
right.
And
Yeah.
That's
Kalinowski
true.
wore it again in the MCU exhibition match, and he
Oh my
lost.
goodness.
He lost again.
So weird.
It's just
He's
the
so
captain curse, man. I should have known.
Captain
I
Kirk.
I thought I could be I could break the curse, but no.
But you were wrong. You were dead wrong.
Yeah, just like the Schmoedown has a mind of its own, and it decides what it wants to decide. You can only plan for like things.
Just like you're not
to a certain
supposed to
level.
spin from the pegs.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right. I'll throw this one in there for the chat just because I feel a little cocky tonight. Call to action: best podcast of the year or best podcast of all time?
uh, of all time, I would say of all time.
We'll take it. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, Michael. Michael OG. We love you, Michael.
Michael is an OG member of the Call to Action. I just
call to action.
Michael, we love you so much. Thank you for always being in the chat, and thank you for what you did for all of us during this whole thing. We love you so much. Okay, I'm done. I'm done.
Okay. Now,
It's like it's gotten so big that you guys are probably like splitting the votes too. I don't know if all of Call to Action is going to be nominated as one thing, or like Chill to Action and like Call to Action podcast and Call to Action, and like all of these are going to be separate shows nominated. You never know.
We're gonna stay strong. I feel like if one of our shows is nominated, it's a win for the whole podcast.
It's a win for the whole thing.
Exactly. It's the brand. It's the Call to Action brand, and regardless of which part gets nominated, I personally like prefer the Chill to Action, not just because I'm here, but like you guys have been like upping the production value and putting more thought into what an interview can be as well, and yeah, it's definitely like the podcast / app show of all time. My support is for Chill to Action specifically and Call to Action in general.
Thank you so much, Chandru. Thank you so much. And I will throw this in there before. Cinefanatics are for maybe the best Call to Action followers.
Dude,
I could get behind that.
I love those guys. It's just like
It's so
like
cool.
they're so cool, and like some of their videos, like road trip video was like so good. Like it was almost like a Schmoedown documentary that when they went to Houston. That was like so much production value. I wish we can like showcase and demo more of these things to like all of this Schmoedown too. I know it gets talked about a lot in the Facebook group, but like a lot of the YouTube people who watch Schmoedown regularly, they're not still in the Facebook group. So I hope like that's why I hope even being nominated and like being showcased in the awards show would like put a light on all of these guys and like how talented you all are.
That'd be great. That would be awesome.
Hashtag Texas forever. Love you guys.
That's true. A Texas girl and boys right there. Okay, what else we got left here? I got well. There's always a contentious one, but I'll throw it out there. Star Wars, the prequel trilogy or the sequel trilogy?
Oh, the sequel trilogy.
Sequel trilogy. Okay, it's interesting to find where that falls. There's a generation.
Because I can't believe how quickly I answered that. Force Awakens is in my top 5 Star Wars movies. Last Jedi is in my top 3. I know it's controversial opinion, but so far it's been knocking it out of the park. It still brings so much new to the picture, brings more chairs to the table without straying too far away from what Star Wars is. And that's what you want, right? Like Empire Strikes Back. If Empire Strikes Back came out today, everyone would be like, this is not the Star Wars we know. Like people must have been like, what is this snow planet? Like why are we even here? And things like that. And that's sort of like the backlash a lot of Last Jedi got as well. It was like trying to tell a story within the same universe, but while still pushing the boundaries of it. So I'm a big fan of it, and I think the fan community overall will come around to it eventually. Like once this movie comes out, like so I'm really excited for to watch Rise of Skywalker in 4 days as well.
So stoked.
Okay.
Hi, Robert Parker.
Hi, Robert.
our previous guest. Okay, I got a couple more left here. I threw this one at a couple of our Marvel people, but I'm curious as to your thoughts. Captain America replacement: Sam Wilson or Bucky Barnes?
Oh, Sam Wilson.
Sam Wilson. See, it's funny. Everybody I've talked to is vehemently on one side or the other. Like Mike in 2 seconds was like Bucky Barnes, and you're like Sam Wilson. Go ahead. Well, expand on that.
Some growing to do. He has some stuff he needs to figure out before becoming Cap.
Yeah,
if he were to
exactly.
become Cap.
It just feels like it's not Bucky Barnes is like a shield. At least the movie the trajectory he's had in the movies, he's like totally on a different like redemption path altogether, and it's he doesn't. I don't think he wants that either, right? Like he is such a neglect. I mean, such a dejected warrior. He doesn't. He fights not because he wants to. He fights because he has to, and and that sort of outcome on life, and he's still trying to figure out what he wants. I'm more sad that I'm more angry at Cap that he didn't take Bucky with him to the 40s than the fact that he actually like didn't give the shield to him. That would have been a much better ending for the Winter Soldier as well. Like he's not the only. Captain America is not the only one who skipped the generation, like who skipped living 70 years and like is completely out of time. It's Bucky too, and to add to that, like he has all the mental mental mess that mental programming he's been put through to deal with as well. And if there's anyone who would have benefited from going back to 40s with Cap, it's Bucky.
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
I like that. See, this is why we expand something. Get to expand so we can clarify. I like that a lot. I think a good answer.
Yeah.
A little more. Okay, a little more of a sillier one now. Maybe in a Schmoedown dance movie match, would you have William Bibiani or Brianne Chandler?
Oh.
And would you be on the desk for it?
I'd be totally on the desk for it. Like, yeah, that's. I mean, we'd have to. I'll answer it first. I would say I would have Brienne's back in that one.
Thank you.
But yeah, there needs to be like more like involvement of dance in the dance exhibition match as well. Like every time you miss a question, you pick something from pick from a hat of a list of dance moves that you have to do, and you actually end up doing it. And like there's dance off between rounds, and that's how we decide who spins first in round 2.
I will up my Patreon right now.
I hope Kristen Harloff is watching this. That's
so high.
I'm giving him so many exhibition match ideas right now. Yeah, that would be. Of course.
You're looking nice, buddy.
But if you saw Andrew Ghai in New York in his live action, he's good at interpretive dance. Andrew Ghai might actually be able to step in on that point, just so you know. So maybe managing or something.
He dances as well. Yeah, no, that's true. And yeah, we even give them VR headsets, and no matter, you just have to answer in like these big boards in VR. So just no matter what you're typing out, what you're writing out on the board, it just looks like you're dancing anyway. So there's a lot of things, a lot of ways you can incorporate things into it, and of course they're going to like up their entrance game as well. And there's a whole musical to finally announce who the winner is, and like every singer and dancer in the Schmoedown sort of like comes together and like has this whole like ensemble chorus to announce the winner. Yeah.
Y'all, I need a Schmoedown music. I do.
I know, right?
Oh my god.
Know, right?
Oh my god.
that would probably be in the same. Honestly, be like in the same exhibition match, like dance musicals. You're just so intertwined.
Someone please put this in the what if section.
Maybe even the audience should coordinate a flash mob.
Can you imagine? Oh my god.
Let's put a group together on Facebook. We can make something happen.
Oh my god. I don't know how that would work out, but that would be amazing.
For sure. Like
Okay.
if I win a match in a live setting, I'll definitely start flossing, and I hope at least half the audience would start flossing.
The entire audience.
Yes.
The entire audience.
That would be my heel turn. Half the audience would like start flossing, and the remaining half would just like start. They'd be like, "What is he doing?"
That's very true, Robert. I bet you he would definitely be for
It would be Bibbs who would come out to start the flash mob.
Organize it, everything start to finish.
I know.
And Jake,
That's exactly my thought. Christian would be so mad.
and Jake's not having it at all. All right.
Oh my god.
I got a few more left, just a few more. We got to hit some before we go. I do want to know which one would scare you more. Oh, wait, I got to put this in there because I love it. A Flash Gordon mob. That would be.
No, and then we can have like a Kevin Spacey lookalike pop out.
Oh,
What's not?
thank you.
That's not.
No.
I would just like to state for the record, I've said this a couple of times. The only part of that gift that upsets me is that Kevin Spacey is in it, and that's it.
That's
Okay.
true. That's true.
All right, which would make you more mad, more angry, or more? I'm sorry, more scared. Andrew Guy barking at you, or RMB yelling at you?
I feel like Andrew Guy barking at me because RMB yelling at me I can handle. I would just like laugh. It's like a lot of sound, a lot of noise, but like not much bite to it. So it's definitely like I'd be more scared by Andrew Guy yelling. He also like picks the time when my guard is down the most, and
Fair enough.
Definitely Guy.
Although Eric, that is true. None of us had time. We had to hook him from. We had to hook him from anything. He just takes too long. Okay, got I think 3 more left. Let's say.
Okay.
This one is actually for you, but also for the crowd. I think. Who will win in a dance-off? Maybe a dance-off 2 between Chandru and Alex Mack.
It's like it's just like a hand on the back.
I know that's my
the
favorite part about this. That's my favorite part about this.
The complete disapproval.
That's my favorite part of about this boomerang. It's just like him shaking his head. And
I had no idea until Lucas pointed it out.
It goes back to like the video from Orlando as well. Like I don't know if you've noticed, like there's a gif of Frank Janish dancing, and then right next to Brandon who's still like just disapproving.
I smell a series.
That's just his face though.
Dancing in front of Brandon Hanna. Brandon has glasses.
Oh, hands down, Alex wins in the dance off. Like she's a great dancer.
There you go.
I was pleasantly surprised by how well she dances.
Pleasantly surprised.
Okay.
I didn't know you were such a good dancer.
Dance classes as a 5-year-old are really paying off now.
I was going to step in there, but you couldn't handle these moves, so that's all I'm going to say about that.
Wow.
I'm upset that I missed this. I don't know where I was during this whole point, but I'm upset that I missed it.
It was a full minute of like the.
It went on for
Alex.
a while.
Yeah, it went on for a while. Alex posted like, or Lucas posted the whole video on Facebook too. Like it was like a minute or almost a minute long video on Facebook. And this is just like one of some of the best parts. This snippet is just like some of the best parts from the video.
But it was after I told you, I was like, I was like 6 drinks in at that point. But you told me at that point you were disappointed no one has brought up your dance skills at all during the expo, and no one asked you to dance.
Oh yeah,
and I was like, what the heck?
We need to fix that. and the Spring Street Bar, right? What was the name? Yes, Spring Street Bar.
Yeah, Spring Street Bar
was playing some good music too. Like and there was enough of like a impromptu dance floor as well. Like it was a great time.
Awesome. Okay. All right, I got two more. One is the typical one we've asked a million times. It's a very important question on this podcast.
Oh, I know this one.
It is call to action host James Spence or a gaping chest wound.
James Spence, you guys. This is not even a contest. Not even a contest. This world does not deserve James Spence. He's such an amazing person. Like I don't know the hate. I don't understand the hate James Spence is getting around here. If I have to, if it was the choice between James Spence and a chest wound or nothing, I would still take the chest wound just so I can also take James Spence.
I
Wow.
hope he's going around like the Fan Expo sometime where he just like paints like a gaping chest wound over his
Oh no.
like, or like the cover of that movie Mother, you know, with exclamation point, where he just like is like the gash of the heart and he's like gaping chest wound.
No, exactly. I'm
Am I
just
being
going to take a
literal,
quick
though?
second to explain gaping chest wound really quickly for everyone inside of the Schmoedown world. James Spence is a heel inside of the fan factions. So that is kind of where we take a lot of that from. Make sure that you check out all of the fan factions, or all of the fan movie trivia factions, and all of that good stuff. So please make sure that you check that out. James Spence is a total dick inside of the fan leagues. So
Right.
go check that out. We love it. Let us know if you want us to retire the gaping chest wound or not.
Oh no, don't retire it. Like I was just telling my opinion. It's a great running gag. You guys should keep it.
Don't worry, I wouldn't let Danny retire it that
Yeah.
easily anyway. I'd fight her tooth and nail on that. Come on.
It's like if you do your heel job properly, like you would still be loved. You know, like that's what your whole army is about.
It's true. It's very true.
So
We do love James here very much, though. I would like to reiterate that James is the love of my life, so we're good.
Wow. That's further than I would ever
I'm
go.
sorry, Paul.
Further than I would ever go, but hey, that's okay. All right.
It's the claws.
The claw is talking, I guess. All right, I got one more. This is actually from the chat. I did have I had a different version of this, but this is actually better. Who would
Okay,
be the
Matt
most
has
unstoppable faction? He says team, but I'll say faction. The Drew Crew or the Rob Squad?
Oh,
The Drew
God.
Crew.
Wow.
Drew Guy, Drew
Nolan.
McQueenie,
I never realized that.
Coy John Drew, John Drew,
Yeah.
Robert Parker, Robert
That's a lot
Meyer
of
Burnett,
Roberts.
Robert Montano, and Robert Gucci.
Y'all
I
are
did not.
This is difficult. I don't know if Bobby Gucci counts as a Robert.
If Coy John Drew counts, I think we might have to go with it.
Oh, okay. I'm surprised. People didn't ask about the marksman because like people wanted a Mark faction as well.
That's right. There is the marksman too. That's right. Mark Ellis, Mark Riley, Mark.
I was like,
But-
didn't we have a question that we had a fan wanted to ask?
There we go.
Hmm.
We did. That's a question. I'll get after
Oh
this.
yeah, there was like a Twitter thing too
Yes.
with the Drews and the Marks. But
Video.
yeah, no, the Robert thing. It has
There
Robert
we
thing
go.
has kind of an edge with
Holy what?
That's the marksman.
yeah, that's the
I
marksman.
will let you expand to do this or that or this. Drew
Oh,
Crew,
okay.
Rob
This or
Squad,
that.
or marksman.
Oh, Drew Crew.
Yeah.
I mean, have to represent, dude. See, one of the things. So Bob, Roberts, the Roberts have a really good multiple advantages, right? They have a really good manager in Bobby Gucci, but they also have Robert Meyer Burnett. So
They can't-
I feel like they cancel each other out.
They have the loudest manager probably with Robert
And
Meyer.
then Parker's there. Parker's like really good, and
That's what we've heard.
that's an understatement. And the Drew Crew has Video Drew, and one of the best managers of all time, Coy Chandru, too. He yeah. And who else do we have? We have all the factions covered as well. Yeah, Keaton Markey.
Considered as marksman?
I love Keaton.
Is
Who
it?
really-
Is there,
If
is it
John-
considered?
If Chandru counts as part of the Drew Crew, Markey should count as part of the Marks.
Drew is part of the name, though.
Yeah.
Mark E. See, that's what it is.
Yeah, no, we have we definitely have a lot of promise in the Roberts with the Robert Adams and Robert Parker and um, who are the other Roberts?
It was
Robert Meyer Burnett and
Robert Montano
Robert
from Late to the Party.
Montana. Oh yeah, a lot of like the fan league fan representation is there in the Roberts, but like Drew's, there's already like established players like McQueenie and Ghai and Video Drew. Video Drew is inevitable. Like she's going to take over all 4 belts one way or the other. She's either going to mind control using techniques and have the belt holders in her control like she's done with Tom, or she's gonna dig up more graves. Yeah. Or she's
Unless
gonna dig
Tom
up more
changes his
graves.
name to Rob.
Oh, that's a tough.
3 letters, you know.
It works.
It was. He was robbed from a grave after all, so he could be the.
Bingo.
The story is confirmed.
It's. Oh yeah, no.
So glad you're
Backstage,
here.
yeah, I can confirm.
Well, that ends our little segment of this or that this week.
You know what that means, y'all? That means chat. We're ready for y'all to put in your questions. Make sure that you can get in anything that you need to ask questions. And while we let y'all do that, we're going to go ahead and plug anything else that we need to do. Alex Mack, you got something coming up, don't you?
I got 2 things, actually. Okay, so as you know, I am hosting, I host Schmoebates. Schmoebates is my baby. This is my thing. And I host it every Wednesday. It is a Schmoedown themed fight, specifically where we ask like weird questions and we kind of get in the nitty gritty over these debates. And it's a really fun time. Thing is, I need a competitor for my next match this Wednesday. Chandru.
Oh.
Would you like to be a guest this Wednesday?
On Schmoebates?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So I'm a really big fan of like the debate format as well. Like I said, I was a big fan of movie fights even before I started watching the Schmoedown. So I've been watching the Schmoebates too. So I'm again big fan. I'd be honored to like participate. And we can talk spectacular spoilers too. It was like I was biting my tongue like the entire time this interview, and I'd be so excited.
Oh my god!
Spectacular spoiler filled, all of it. Yeah, if you're not going to see it by then, please do watch it.
Watch it.
We're gonna toss all of them.
It's on YouTube right now. Y'all watch it.
So who am I playing against? Do we know, or is that?
Yes, we do know. She is a fan that you actually met out in LA. Her name is Samantha. I can't remember her last name. I feel awful. But she was so cute. We chat with her when she was there. She's from Colorado and she's a doll. But yeah, you guys are going to go together and it's going to be real fun.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking forward to it. It'll be fun.
Oh, yes, it's going to be fantastic. This week on Saturday as well, I'm going to be having... I'm also going to be having Alonzo Durrell to be my co-host for the holiday movie exhibition match.
Oh, awesome. Nice. You guys are stepping up your co-hosts for exhibition matches. You're getting like a lot of Schmoedown. Is that me?
No.
Oh, okay. You guys are getting a lot of amazing co-hosts too for your from the Schmoedown for your exhibition matches too. It's exciting. I forgot to mention all of your exhibition matches as well. Like you guys are doing so much, man. I'm glad there's like so much more Schmoedown adjacent content, and you guys have all this passion and the time and energy to do all of this. And especially with like the off season for the next month, there's not going to be much like actual Schmoedown dropping. Actual Schmoedown dropping, so it'll be nice to have like more talk and discussion about all of this too.
Yeah, I love that. And Samantha is a little scared all of a sudden. I think she has about the So we'll go there. Okay. I do want to plug something else, actually. Even though it's not called action related, these guys are our brothers, so Robert has asked us to, and I will gladly plug it. Cinema Fanatics have a live stream going on tomorrow night at 9:30 p.m. Central discussing Spectacular with spoilers. And supposedly he keeps teasing it's going to be some great interest to the Action Army. I'm hoping it's not just me being really drunk. I'm hoping that's not what he's talking about. Maybe it is. It could be.
Probably is.
There you go.
Oh yeah, there's so much Schmoedown content tomorrow. The spectacular is dropping for people who have not seen it yet, and like there's a rundown coming. There's a rundown interview with the singles title winner.
That's right.
Yes, it's very true. Very
And
true. Come out.
I'm just gonna plug that really quickly. Watch the rundown. It's good. It's good. It's good. Watch the rundown.
Oh.
it's amazing.
Samantha, you will have Brandon Hannon spiritually in your corner. That's true. That is very true.
I don't know how many Twitter bots he's gonna hire to like vote against.
I would like to give a big shout out to Samantha. Ramirez is my actual last name. I know y'all might think Joy is my last name, but it's not. It's Ramirez. Hey,
What?
Oh, nice.
What?
Nice.
I knew that.
I have an actual last name.
I only knew that because of LA.
I knew that because of like either Twitter or Facebook, one of those.
One of those, you know. Okay. Mr. Chandru from Oscar Roma, would you rather take a shot or watch Andrew Ghai take another chair shot as a I don't like that. How dare you? How dare you, Oscar?
Oscar.
We thought we
God.
liked you. Then you're pulling this.
Take a shot, man. It's easy. Yeah, I don't like physical violence in the Schmoedown. As even if you're ready, like people get hurt.
Okay, fair enough.
So easily take a shot. I know it makes for a great story. Like my mind was blown like when I saw it live in Houston as well. Like even the Spectacular 2. That was the reason. Yeah. So the action top 10 match and Guy tackling him was the reason I started watching like the story behind the matches as well. Because before that I would just like go for the trivia, watch it, and be confused why do as to why do these people hate each other so much, and then after the tackle I was like I need to know what happened, I need the tea. So I went back and like saw the whole history of like Action Top 10 playing against each other in the tournament prior to it, and like all of Action's matches leading up to it as well, to like find out what happened. So so yeah, even though it makes people more motivated, I'm not it really hurts me to watch it, especially because I know that person, and like even yeah.
He actually busted his lip during that time, so we know that.
Yeah.
So.
and yeah, I'm a very empathetic person, so that's why the Flash miss hurts me so much to watch every time. It doesn't matter how many times it's being showed, it's like still painful to me. The same with Don't Tell Peter, the same with any of the misses from the Schmoedown. I definitely like would take a shot like in a heartbeat before.
So I do have a question from our Facebook page. If you're not a part of our Facebook, make sure that you like our Facebook channel, Call to Action Podcast. You can find us there. We make sure that we try to reach out to everyone. But I do have a question from Megan McCurley. Dr. Meg, we love you so much, Meg. Which Innergeekdom movie series or universe have you been most influenced by growing up or recently?
Most influenced by was Harry Potter. Like it's very easy. That's the thing I grew up with. Like I've read all the books, watched all the movies like multiple times. I can't even begin to explain how psyched I was when I went to Universal Studios and like got to actually ride the Hogwarts Express. So a lot of my influences like comes from Harry Potter, like how I think of as people as well. Like I usually when I meet a person, I try to like in conversation figure out which house they belong to, and like that's sort of my like conversation technique to like to know more about a person, and like and just things like that. And yeah, the first time just the influence in general. The first time I watched the Harry Potter movie, in the entire night I was just like dreaming of actually being in Hogwarts, and like just like walking around. I didn't even want to like learn magic or anything, man. It's just like such a nice friendly community where everyone's just like, I mean, magic is part of it, but it's just this whole setting. Like, I wouldn't mind just being like a muggle, like pretending to know magic and like just failing all classes.
Just hanging out.
Yeah,
People
just hanging
in
out.
Diagon Alley.
Yeah, just hanging out in Hogwarts. I wouldn't
You
do.
portrait on the wall.
Yeah, exactly. There's
Chandru, I'm a Slytherin. What's your house?
Yeah, that's what our question.
I'm a Ravenclaw.
See that? Like Hannah is a
Yeah,
Raven.
Raven Hannah said on Twitter he's a Ravenclaw.
Oh, come on, Hannah's Slytherin.
I said Hufflepuff.
Okay. So here's the thing, right? Hannah as a person is Ravenclaw. Me as a person are also Ravenclaw. That's why we don't like. We're too similar. That's why we like don't like each other. But like the Chandru that chosen the character is more Hufflepuff, and and the Hitman is definitely Slytherin.
Fair enough. I'm going to cut through here. Which house do you think Robert is in, or Chris?
Oh God.
Hufflepuff and Hufflepuff.
Yeah, no. I'd say both of them are. I'd say both of them, at least, according to me, they're both Gryffindors.
Fair enough. Okay.
All right. You're right.
Jake doesn't agree. He says definitely Hufflepuffs.
That's again like it's the difference between what they are as a person and like what their character is. Like even when you're like being yourself, doing a podcast, you kind of put like show up one side or one aspect of it yourself, right? Like you heighten a little bit of your personality. So they definitely like up their Hufflepuffness in their Cinefanatics reaction videos. So I would say like they're a mix of Gryffindor and Hufflepuff. If you know them only from the videos they post, they're Hufflepuff.
Okay.
It's like sun sign and your moon sign. No one knows.
Exactly. They're Hufflepuff Rising.
Hufflepuff Rising. I love
you so much.
All right. Let's see.
None of y'all might understand that reference, but I do. And Chandru, thank you so much for that.
Oscar says, I thought that's talking to Danielle. I think, Danny is my work wife only. She's not a real wife.
My skill to action last name is Denuzio.
There you go.
It's Ramirez Denuzio.
Speaking of which, Michael wants to shout out Danny for continuing to carry the torch for Latinos in the Army. Represent.
Hey. Even though Billy Belford speaks more Spanish than I do.
Belford is
true story. True story.
Oh, wow.
He's been everywhere throughout like Central America and South America. He's been to like 8 different countries within each region. It's crazy.
Oh wow.
It's a shame.
That's really impressive.
Okay, question. What do you think about Longing Rusted, Furnace, Daybreak, 17 but 9, Homecoming 1, Freight Car?
Yeah.
Did you guys just activate Kevin Smith? Now he's gonna.
He did.
What does that mean? I have no idea what that means.
It's the Winter Soldier reference.
The programming Winter Soldier. It's the programming that they have to. He's trying to activate somebody. Would you want to compete in the free for all, or what do you think about competing in the free for all? From Justin is a square. Caption this.
Oh yeah, I'd love to compete in this free for all. Like if Harloff is listening, I'd love to compete. I'd love to compete in the free for all. Like especially to get some live studio live audience experience before like I get put in a live match, or before I get the opportunity to be in a live match. I'd love to do like live entrances, like with like cosplay and like dance and stuff too. Yeah, and I was in the audience in the free for all. To my hope when I talked to Christian in January during the awards show was that I would get a match which would go on YouTube before the free for all, so I could be part of it too. So, but I missed it by like a month or two. So it got taped in April. My first match got like taped in April. It dropped in June. So I missed it just by like 3 months, and I still have a lot of FOMO about it. So this time this time I'll definitely want to be in the free for all. And IG players have played in the free for all before, and it'll be nice to like. Snets did, Navarro, Inman, and did Inman? Okay, yeah, Navarro did it before. Robert My Burnett has done it before, and even if I get a worst case I get a 0 like Brett Sheridan did, or like so many other players did that day. So it's my IG acclaim would never go down, and I think even Kevin Smith only got like 1 out of 1 point in the one round he lasted. So the bar for IG players is definitely pretty low. So I don't think there's gonna be like too many expectations on me to like do good or win or anything. But like I'll definitely put on a good show and like have a good performance.
Not only that, but if you do, I mean, like you have no, you said it, like the bar is low, but if you do really well, it's
exactly.
You're like Brendan Meyer almost was out of the league. It almost seemed like after he lost, but then all of a sudden that free for all performance really like kicked him into the next level.
Yeah, exactly. It's like an instant springboard, which Brendan Meyer was lucky enough to have, and he utilized it pretty well too. Like a lot of the times before, people have not been able to like use and double down on that free for all performance or recreate it in a regular 3-round or 5-round match, and he got the opportunity and he like ran with it, and he's definitely like one of the standout rookies in my eye this year too. And and it's also like a different format, right? You don't need to be the best in the table to move on. You just can't be the worst. You just can't have the worst score, and that brings a lot more like gameplay and like advantages into it. It's definitely like way more chaotic and unpredictable. So anything can happen if you're on guard and like do better than one other person. It's like running away from a bear. You don't have to be the fastest person. You just can't be. You just have to be faster than the slowest person.
Right. Not be the slowest person, basically.
You have to do a lot of stretching beforehand.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
when you're just standing up there, like I always felt for Bibbs. Like when he was up there for like, I felt like forever. And I was like, boy, you better move around and like stretch or something.
Yeah, I was tired for him.
Dude. Tired for him. That's a good answer.
Not kidding.
All right. Let's see what we got here. Last couple of things in the chat here. Jake's gonna says he picked Spence, so he's already voting for Samantha and Bates.
No, I'm definitely antagonizing Jake a lot today. I'm gonna floss on top of the stage. Like James Spence is a great person, and
I don't know how to floss.
Well, I'm gonna teach you. We have to teach you. Well, Chandra's gonna have to teach you. I don't floss. Garth wants to know if you bought a wand from John Roca's shop.
No, I didn't. So I've never been to Universal Studios in LA. I've only been to the one in Orlando. I'm also like not very I don't like to spend too much money on things that I love and I'm a fan about, like, because it's also like it's a very cynical thing to just spend $40 to get a piece of wood. I know Harry Potter fans are gonna hate me for this.
You know what your Patronus is?
Oh, I haven't done the Pottermore test. What?
Mine's an elephant.
Yours is an elephant. Oh, yeah. That's awesome.
That says a lot.
I haven't figured out what my I don't remember as of now. Like it's been long since I did the Pottermore test. So but if I were to choose one, it'd be like a monkey.
Oh yeah, that's very cute. I like that.
It
like
would
a
just
little
be
monkey, like Aladdin monkey kind of thing, or like a bigger like.
Like one of Abu would be good. It would be just like one of these long-tailed monkey which is just hanging upside down from a branch and just like and just like derping around.
Perfect. Chandra has the best attitude about everything.
That's so sweet.
And for some reason he's picturing Ken Knapsack running away from the bear. You might be the slowest one as long as you're being Ken Knapsack. Then you might be okay. Of course, if they're running 2 with 7-11, Ken Knapsack might start running a little faster.
Might be. Like Okay, Loki. I also like really love 7-Eleven. Not as much as Ken Napzok. He has his love for 7-Eleven is unparalleled.
All right, how about this one? Let's see. How does Chandru feel about going up against Dan Merle in IG?
Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah?
Yeah, I am. Like I said, Rachel was like one of my dream matchups from last season, and I wasn't even considering the possibility of playing against Dan, right? Because I was never considering singles or teams when I joined. It was just IG all the way, and at that point, Dan was also like focused more on the other divisions, and it's fun. Like this is the only league I feel like I actually have a chance at going toe to toe with Dan, and and he he respects the players a lot, and anyone he comes up against, so he's not going to think like just because he's accomplished so much in singles and teams that he's gonna roll through IG. We've had conversations about him wanting to wanting to join that division if he wants to next season as well. So if he wants to join IG, especially looks like he's taking like a small break from singles. He wasn't in the tournament this season. So if he wants to join IG, that'll be my dream match. Not even more so than Rachel, because like Rachel's a match against Rachel was something I was like hoping for when I joined the Schmoedown. This is like almost it's too good for me to even dream about. So
Fair enough.
so it'll be really exciting, and
It would be really exciting. I would like to say that it's also 12:02 in my time. That's all.
oh yeah.
Good enough.
It's Tuesday, December 17th in my
Just
time.
saying that for
Sorry,
some reason.
Yeah,
No
sorry,
big
I
deal.
ramble. Sorry, I ramble on and on.
No.
Oh no,
My
we
answer's
love
shut.
it.
But anyway, I want to point this out. This is Jack wanted to bring this up, and I will answer this myself. Brendan saying I said that Brendan losing to Paul Oyama was a negative. I didn't mean that was a negative mark on his record. I just meant that with a loss, you tend to have a harder time getting back into it with so many players. So win is what you need. So the free for all from Brendan Meyer immediately got him right back into it instead of having to wait.
No.
That's all I meant.
Yeah, exactly. Because even in his second match, Brendan Meyer had to face like really strong competition in Video Drew. And luckily he won out and like had a chance to like prove himself more in the tournaments and so on, and teaming up with Bibiani definitely like helped him a lot. He's like they're the team tournaments winner, and like they're playing against Founding Fathers tomorrow in the Schmoedowns Spectacular too. So yeah, loss against Paul Oyama is definitely not a setback. But then people forget all of that, right? Like David Moore, his only 2 losses. He's an amazing IG player, but his only 2 losses are against like Kevin Smith and me, and those are like really tough losses to come back from. Like he was playing like 70. His accuracy was like 70%, 80% in both those matches too. Like, it's not like he was missing too many questions either. But then if you don't have that like sort of momentum to build off of people don't remember any of your accuracy or like how well your knowledge is. They only in the end of the day they only remember your wins and losses, which is partly sad, but that's why like I wouldn't count that against as a negative, but it still sets you back a little bit. And
I'm not gonna toot reactors' horns on that, but I do feel like that's an important part of what we do as reactors and what all of the other channels do as reactors. We like to generally point out these specific things that go on in matches other than just your wins, because the general audience is going to only think about your wins, whereas a channel like this and a channel like everyone else is going to point out the specific parts of that and kind of really break it down and really get into it. So thank you for saying that, Chandru.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you guys do a great job of like pointing all that out as well. Like most people like to exaggerate when I was especially when I was going to go against like Kevin Smets, most people were like, oh yeah, this is hands down Kevin's gonna win. But like with the reactors, most of them were like, hold on, we've seen what Chandru can do. This is not as easy as the hands down as we think it is. Like anything can happen, and
Yep.
it went down to the last question
Yep.
too, right? And shout out to like all the reactors, all rundown as well. They still, most of you still predicted Kevin would win, which was what happened, but like it was not like a 100% chance. It was closer to like a 60-40 than
Right. My
70-30
point
than
exactly
anything else.
on that whole situation, because we're allowed this specific discussion on how Kevin was genuinely worried about this match. He really was.
He was.
was worried going into this match because you're a competitor in the IG and you're a tough competitor in that division. So he like for the Innergeekdom #1 contender to be worried about what you're doing is amazing, and that's the space that we get to talk about. So
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Not exactly dropping any points, percentage points when it comes to accuracy. Not just like getting lucky in here at any point. When you're winning, it's like a real solid, great win.
Yeah.
And this podcast for sure knows that anything can happen. We watched Andrew Ghai beating Dan Merle, and that was love our life at that point.
Exactly. Anything can happen. Anything can happen tomorrow as well.
Absolutely. Anything can ever happen. So. Oh, is that our last bit of the chat? I believe. Anything else in the chat?
I think it is, y'all. Thank you so much for everyone coming in and hanging out. We really appreciate it. It's Chill to Action Monday here. Thank you so much for coming in and hanging out. Alex Mack, do you have anything you got to plug?
Like I said, Holiday Expedition match coming in this Saturday, and Chandru is going to be joining me this Wednesday on Schmoedowns, so come hang out with us then.
Confirmed. Paul Denuzio, what do you got to plug, babe?
Well, I'm going to say, like always, since we are a faction of Team Action, so to speak, join their Patreon at www.patreon.com/Team Action. There's going to be a behind-the-scenes look at the spectacular coming up pretty soon. I'd say 24 hours after the match actually drops. That's my guess at this point. Because, of course, Ben played in that first match against Bibiani, and if he won, he would go on to face Paul Oyama for the championship. And maybe, of course, well, Drew retired, so that's the sad part. But all that stuff we talked about behind the scenes, I know too soon. Trust me, I still need my bottle of Jameson. But help keep me employed and go join them. It's great here. And, of course, our future award-winning podcast, that's our guys. That's what we say we are. Next week, we are still in negotiations with our guests next week. If things go right, it should be an interview with Paul Oyama. If things don't happen, we have to change the schedule. We'll let you guys know, but that's the tentative schedule at this point. And we have a lot more scheduled in the new year. So that's what I got to plug.
Chandru, tell me what you got going on, babe.
I'm at Chandru Things on Twitter, Instagram, even Venmo. And it's the same handle. I finally synced it all up. Nothing much. Say hi in the Facebook group. There's a lot of posts about nominations for awards, so I would definitely do like a for your consideration thing. If you're a Patreon, like any dollar level, you can submit your nominations. You can either choose from a bigger list that's already there, or also like suggest more names that have not been included. So if you want to nominate me for Rookie of the Year, Innergeekdom Player of the Year, or any of our matches for Upset of the Year or Match of the Year, feel free to do so. I know I'm not gonna win any of those, but like it's still nice to be nominated to see the recognition, because I already know who all of those the winners of all of those are going to be. But show me some love in those nominations. Otherwise, hit me up.
Thank you so much, y'all. Chandru is the best. Thank you so much, everyone. You know exactly where you can find me. You can find me on Twitter at Danny Joy. Right there. There you go. You can find me there. You can find me here on the Chill to Action podcast every Sunday/Monday, whatever we decide to do with it. Thank you so much. If we do not have Paul coming on, we will see you next year for the Schmoedown, all of that good stuff. Nominations are out. Chill to Action is nominated. This solo plug myself. My cat just went crazy. Solo plug myself. Maybe nominate Chill. We love you. Thank you so much. For everyone in the Action Army, for everyone in the Call to Action podcast, nominate Call to Action, all of that good stuff. We love you. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week. We'll see you next year. Happy holidays, all of that good stuff, y'all. Thank you so much. We love you. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
We salute
Bye.
you, as always.